Hello and welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm David Patton, and we welcome in now the man who has done more than any other member of the U.S. Congress to get to the bottom of what happened on the tragic night of September 11, 2012, when jihadists stormed the U.S. mission in Benghazi, Libya, and killed 4 Americans, including U.S. Ambassador Christopher Stevens. He is Representative Frank Wolf, the Republican from Virginia's 10th Congressional District. Representative Wolf, thank you for joining us.
It's good to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Well, first question, why in the world would the House Republican leadership not want a select committee? I mean, you have, 178 co-sponsors already on your bill calling for the committee. Why are Speaker Boehner, Majority Leader Cantor, and the other Republicans blocking this?
You know, I have no idea. I really can't answer that question because I don't know. I think we've met the threshold. We have over 178 co-sponsors. We've had the support of the American Legion, all the special ops groups. We've had an editorial supporting us in the Wall Street Journal. The families of those who were killed. I don't know.
The recent 60 Minutes special confirmed your account that a CIA rapid response team acting against orders to wait fought their way that night through the streets of Benghazi to defend the compound, against orders. Representative Wolf, who was giving orders not to defend the compound?
Well, that's why we need public hearings on this. The CIA station chief, told them not to respond. The first time when they got a call from the consulate, they were told to stand down. They got a second call from the consulate. They were told to stand down. On the third call, they went and they basically went against the orders. Now, did that station chief make that call on his own? Or was he told by somebody in Tripoli? Or was he told by somebody back in Langley? Or was he told by somebody in the White House? We don't know. And frankly, unless we have public hearings, we'll never know what the truth is. But we do not know who gave that order. They believe that had they gone on the first call, they may very well have saved Ambassador Stevens.
So you believe that this notion that there was nothing that could ever be done is perhaps not the case, and that perhaps those people could have been saved?
I'm basing my comments on what people who have been on the ground have told me. I mean, what I believe, frankly, isn't really very important. It's what I've been told by people who were on the ground or people who were connected to people who were on the ground.
We understand immense pressure is being put on potential witnesses who saw the attack. In all your years in Congress, have you ever seen an administration apparently so afraid that the truth would get out?
Well, I would only reiterate, and I think you should look at the statement that I made on the floor on Wednesday. I quote CNN and I quote Fox, so I stand behind their comments, and I think it's important that you look at what they have said, not, again, what I have said. Secondly, on administration, every administration wants to cover up mistakes. I mean, look at the Nixon administration. You kidding me? They did everything they could to keep the truth from coming out. This administration is modeling that to a certain extent. I mean, if you recall, they said it was because of the video. Susan Rice went on television, 5 shows on the Sunday, and said it was because of the video. Everyone knew at the time it wasn't because of the video. The president got up the next day and flew out to Las Vegas for a fundraiser. So I think you find administrations circling the wagons, but this has been amazing. And I've been a little disappointed that more people haven't been willing to come forth publicly. I've been disappointed, like General Ham. General Ham has testified privately, but not publicly. And then General Ham flew out to Aspen, Colorado, and gave a speech at an event that they were charging $1,200 a ticket. I thought more people would come forward and do the right thing and come forward publicly.
So if there was one or two main questions that you would hope that you could get answers to, what would those most important issues be that you need the Select Committee for?
Well, there are so many. One, what was the CIA doing there? Were they moving weapons? Were the weapons going into Syria? Were the weapons gone to Islamist jihadists who were, as you've been watching the news, there have been now 115,000 people killed? Why didn't the CIA and the Department of Defense and the White House have teams ready to come to assist? That was September 11th. There was a rescue team that was on a training mission in Croatia on September 11th. Why would you be on a training mission on September 11th when everyone knows that September 11th is the date that embassies and others can be hit? Why didn't they send an aircraft to pick up the wounded? It was a Libyan aircraft that took the wounded back. One that was perhaps commandeered by our people. Why was it American aircraft that came to pick up the wounded? Why was it a Libyan aircraft that came in to pick up the CIA employees that stayed on the tarmac waiting? Why was it not an American aircraft? Why didn't they send an F-16 jet over with its afterburners to sort of scare away the terrorists? Was there not a group in Turkey that could have been there? Was not another nation could have cooperated? Was there not resources in Italy? There are so many questions. And you know, everything that's come out has come out not because of the Congress, but it's really come out because of the press. And so I appreciate the media has been focusing and has not allowed this to die. You would have thought it would have died by this time because it's been well over a year. But there are so many questions and they're all interrelated. And why did they say it was a video when they knew at that time it wasn't a video?
Polls indicate that over 60% of Americans think there's some sort of cover-up going on related to Benghazi. Representative Wolf, is there anything our listeners can do to help you finally get to the bottom of this?
Absolutely. They can call their congressman and ask them to support my resolution. It's HRES 36. And this is a bipartisan resolution. It's similar to what the Congress has done many times before. We've had a number of bipartisan select committees and asked their congressman and member of Congress to support HRES 36. We're going to continue to push this until we find what the truth is. This will be the first time in the history of the nation that we've left people behind. General Boykin, who was the commander of the military in Mogadishu, if you saw the movie Black Hawk Down, the story is that General Boykin and our American military, in order to reclaim two individuals, the bodies of two individuals who have been killed, in order to bring them back, because they have a motto, ethos, no one is left behind, they had 15 people killed and 72 people wounded. The Obama administration violated that ethos on September 11 last year. And secondly, I think we should be honoring the bravery of the men who were there, who did a tremendous thing in order to save the people that were in the CIA annex. But just call their congressman and congresswoman, members of Congress, ask them to co-sponsor HRES 36.
Finally, a quick question on a related topic. President Obama appears to be something of a man on an island these days. The Euros, especially Chancellor Merkel, are furious over the bugging. The Saudis, Israelis, Jordanians, Egyptians, all are reportedly irate over the president's lead-from-behind foreign policy, especially over Syria and Iran. Domestically, we see even more and more of his fellow Democrats jumping ship over the Obamacare website snafus, asking for a delay in the mandate. What do you think it is about the president's leadership style that 5 years into his presidency, he seems to have a diminishing cadre of allies and friends, both domestically and abroad? Is it perhaps a temperament issue, his aloof, sort of removed personality, or what do you think is causing it?
They broke the story right away. And they told everyone that Bin Laden was dead, and I congratulate the president and the administration on that too. I think they did the right thing. But they told everybody right away, and they inferred that Al-Qaeda was on the run and terrorism had gone away. If you look at the record, the number of terrorist attacks that have taken since has been unbelievably high, from Al-Shabaab to many other groups. And so when something goes well, they identify with it. When it doesn't, I mean, the IRS, they acted outraged, but now the president claims he didn't know. He says he didn't know with regard to the international listening, Merkel and others. I saw a story the other day that, and it may not be true, we're going to try to find out, that they were actually bugging the Vatican when they were selecting the new pope. So American foreign policy is in decay and disarray. Our European allies really have more there's division between that. Our foreign policy in Iraq has been some fundamental failure. You're finding the number of deaths in Iraq is skyrocketing. Things are not going very well in Afghanistan. Their policy in Egypt with regard to Morsi was really a disaster. You're finding the genocide that started 10 years ago in Darfur in Sudan still continues. The policy in Syria has unraveled to the point that 115,000 people or more have now died. I was over in the region a couple months ago. We were down in the Bekaa Valley and we had some Syrians come out from Syria. Life is brutal. Life is brutal for the Christian community. Here, Syria, Damascus, we remember from reading the Bible, Paul on the road to Damascus, that's where he met Jesus. That area is being just Christians in Egypt going through a very difficult time. The Iraqi Christians have gone from 1.5 million down to 300,000, and they feel that no one cares. And more biblical activity took place in Iraq than any other country other than Israel. Abraham is from Iraq. The 12 tribes of Israel spent a number of years in Iraq. Daniel, one of the great men of the Bible, Daniel was in Iraq when he was taken to Babylon. Daniel's buried in Iraq. Ezekiel is buried in Iraq. Esther, for such a time like this, is from Iraq. So we just see their human rights positions just terrible. We see in China, you have Catholic bishops, 25 Catholic bishops under house arrest, hundreds of Protestant pastors. You see to date about 118 Buddhist monks and nuns have set themselves aflame because of the crackdown of the Chinese government in Tibet. And the Tibetan people are very, very wonderful people, very kind, very, very gentle. It's against the law to have a picture of the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama would like to return. You see the policy there in decay. You see the Muslim Uyghurs in China being persecuted and no one's saying anything. You see in the Baha'i faith in Iran being persecuted, a large number of Baha'is that have been sentenced in jail. So just wherever you look, it just seems their foreign policy is in decay and disarray.
Virginia Republican Frank Wolf continuing to look for answers on Benghazi. Congressman Wolf, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.